Hello, and welcome to the teamfortress.tv cast of ESEA-Invite for this evening, featuring Lost in Translation versus Below Average. Joining me tonight is Lange. I am Seanbud. Say hello, Lange. Possibly sing it. Hi. Hello.
What's up? We're shaking, Sean. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really good.
Clearly, I can tell.
Yeah. I worked on that all day. I wrote out the script.
Yep.
And definitely did not improvise it.
We workshopped that all week to bring you the highest quality Team Fortress 2 Showcase introductions.
Anyways, thanks for watching, friends. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm excited to cast. I believe this is the first Koth Coal Plant cast, Lang. Confirm, deny.
Confirmed. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to confirm it anyway.
Perfect. Perfect. It's probably been played in Highlander or something that I don't know of. Actually, that sounds accurate. Okay. Anyways, I really like the map. Let's talk about the map first. We've got a little time before it starts to do teams and rosters, etc. I believe they've also both been casted already this season a couple times. Been a lot of casts with the middle of Invite. A lot of interesting matches being traded in the LAN race. And I would like to discuss the map. This is the first season ESEA has added Coal Plant to the rotation. We played... It is kind of a cross between Asheville and CP Asheville, which have both been played in the rotation in the past. What are your first impressions of Coal Plant, Lang?
I'll be brutally honest, I've scrimmed this map, well, actually the Koth version of it, the first and only time I've played it was tonight in our ESEA Open match. I have played, of course, Koth Asheville quite a bit, and I've played CP Asheville a handful of times. Koth Asheville I thought was okay. It wasn't my favorite map, but I know a lot of Invite players who really swore by it. They liked the design from Invite's own EMG Kevin Cups Mackey. But, you know, it was sort of a... I don't want to say this. It was a polarizing map, put it that way.
Yeah.
Koth Asheville. CP, yeah. I don't know. It had pretty strong sniper sight lines, and I don't know. It was very, very DM heavy. Some of the more strategic teams didn't like it as much. And then CP Asheville was sort of universally disliked. I don't know anyone who enjoyed CP Asheville, which was Scorpio Uprising's attempt at taking Koth Asheville and turning it into a 5 CP map. And now we have a Coal Plant. Is that what this is called?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Really
which
good
is,
job,
I guess.
Lang.
Yeah, no, I'm good. 24 inches of meat. So, which is basically, you know, we're taking CP Asheville, which is the adaptation of Koth Asheville, and we're making it Koth again and calling it Coal Plant. So it's a complicated, tortured journey that this map has taken to get to its current iteration. But you know, I feel like it's okay.
I think it was for the best. I think all the changes. Yeah. The only change I think is a straight downgrade. Is directly underneath the point. I don't know why. Removing the window, I guess, is a good change. I don't like being able to see people under there. That was kind of a unique element, though, I guess. But it's just like the ramps are and the exits, I believe, are just smaller, and I don't like those being enclosed as much as they are. But he shrunk the middle basically entirely, right, to do that. So that I guess that was kind of he did it out of necessity, I suppose. But the ramps are like way too steep and awkward, I think.
They are super steep. Yeah, I don't... I'm surprised you can actually walk up. This seems like steeper than a 45-degree angle to me. It seems... I'd peg that at about 50,
you got a
51,
high knees up that ramp.
Yeah.
Thankfully, TF2 characters don't have to high knees. They just go really, really fast at a normal speed because physics.
Because physics. So, Seanbud, in this match, as in most matches, we have 2 teams playing. Why don't you tell me about one of these teams?
I'm going to introduce Below Average. We've casted them a couple times. I think actually we casted them last week on Badlands. I think that sounds... Yeah, we did, on Mix-Up. They have a pretty good pair of soldiers. They were actually impressing me quite a bit against Mix-Up. They got caught Hard Blue out of position a couple times, got a few really good kills on them, and I think this map has a lot of potential for a really, really good gunboat swimmer to just wreak havoc. There's a lot of health kits you can rocket jump to and away from. A lot of room in the lobby to kind of like one rocket jump kind of transitions you from watching your flank to flanking them. You know what I mean? It's a lot of open spaces for rocket yumps, and we have two very talented soldiers on below average in Patty and Shootist, right? Yeah. They were
let
impressing
me
me last
interrupt
week.
you about Patty really quick. So,
Yeah.
am I correct in understanding that Patty is like sort of fresh talent picked out from obscurity, really?
The b-ball community, I think. He was actually signed up for the b-ball event for Last Tip of the Hats, and I am almost certain that it's the same Patty. It'd be weird and coincidental if it wasn't. But there is like two Sakuras in Invite, or was. I don't know what happened there.
This is true. But I feel like there was also a Patty, I think in the most recent Apocalypse Gaming Pubs vs. Pros, I think Patty played Soldier on the, Communities vs. Pros. I think Patty played Soldier on the community team, and I think I remember him impressing everybody. Is this the same guy, or am I making that up?
Man, he's just the myth, the legend that we're
The
creating
Patty.
right now. I mean, he's been slowly making a name for himself behind the scenes in many different aspects of this game, and now here he is on Team Fortress TV, and we just can't stop talking about him.
Apparently, I'm thinking of Ibby. Ibby is the guy I'm thinking of from the Pubs
Okay,
vs.
never
Pros.
mind. Ibby
Yeah,
is
so
just,
Patty,
Patty's just incredible.
Don't know about
at
this
it.
Patty guy, but he seems real great.
All right, well, anyways, for the rest of below average, Patty and Shootist, the talented soldier combo. We've got Chaz, also known as Boogie in the past, former demo man for many teams, and talented scout as well. We've got Chaz and who's the other scout for below average? He's not in the server. Chaz and Sure Shot are the two scouts, I believe, the two starting scouts. Control F Muffin is the demo man, really good, solid DM. I would expect pretty decent damage numbers, although Asheville is a little bit harder map to pad your damage numbers on as demo. There's a lot more room for scouts to dodge your stickies and stuff like that. So Eldritch is going to be the medic for below average. That's their roster, in as complicated a way as I can say it.
Yep. On your point about demo men having a difficult time padding their damage stats, I'm not entirely sure if that's always applicable. I mean, yeah, I guess in the stalemates, it's hard to sort of get into that lobby and do as much damage as you want while still remaining safe, but I feel like definitely in the point engagements, if a team is on that control point, there's not a whole lot for them to hide behind. I feel like you throw two stickies and you've got coverage of that entire area, and it is pretty easy for demo men to do a lot of damage at that point. But I don't know, I guess it's all very context sensitive. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the Lost in Translation roster. That's .lit here in the server. We have Alpha. I believe he's playing medic for them. Does that sound correct to you, Sean, friend?
Alpha? Yeah, he's med. Yep.
Yeah. We have Alpha on medic. He's sort of a multi-class extraordinaire. Plays a little bit of everything. His scout sniper, very strong. His demo man, also surprisingly strong. Pretty sure he's a decently competent soldier, but his demo and his scout snipers where most of his combat experience lies. But also pretty competent medic. I don't think this is his first season attempting to play medic and Invite, so he's got some experience there. We have Bedonsky, sort of the Pug-N-A all-star scout, but more recently been picked up into the upper echelons of the Invite Illuminati. What class is he playing on this team?
Bedonsky?
Yeah.
He's their demo man.
He's their demo man, so that's crazy to me, because I know him as that Pug all-star scout. So I don't know how much experience Bedonsky has on demo man, but I'm interested to see what he'd do. He's definitely an intimidating force on the hitscan classes, so I'm going to keep an eye out for him on the projectile class. We have, of course, Decimate, our favorite, friend of the Bud Squad, former Mighty Duck, Christian Decimate Lamelli. One of the strongest hitscan aimers in the game, in my opinion. Definitely one of the chillest dudes. Got that comps. Decimate sure to make that booty clap when he's pushing the enemy team. And of course we have Mobla playing soldier for lit.
Mela, let's say his name. His name is actually Mela.
It's definitely Mobla.
It's become Mobla because of Tip of the Hats, which was just a funny moment in TF2 history.
We like to have fun here.
We like to have fun. If you don't get the references in chat, if you don't get any of our references, some of them are very obscure inside jokes, so just ask for an explanation in chat, and I'll be busy casting so someone else will have to answer. That's gonna be our solution.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mela, do we know if he's playing roamer or pocket?
He is roaming. Smacka is the pocket.
Big Dusty, another friend of the Bud Squad, going back a couple of years at this point. Big Smacka on that pocket. Sort of another multi-class all-star, really. He's been to LAN on... Has he been to LAN on Medic? I might be making that up. He's been to LAN on Demo more than a few times.
Last season.
Sure, why not? So Smacka confirmed having one LAN on every class in the game. Also having invented TF2. Yep, confirmed.
Confirm it.
Smacka confirmed, best player in the game, friend of the Bud Squad. We always like to see him play, like to see him do well.
Also,
even
Smacka,
if he can be...
by the way, let's talk about Smacka some more. He is a very cool guy. He's just a super cool guy, very helpful. Just a great guy.
He's a great guy.
That's all I gotta say. No, he has the weirdest config in TF2.
Oh, yes.
Maybe second weirdest. Orza's was pretty nuts as well. What do you remember about Smacka's config? I think we all remember the pictures from that one LAN, season 4 or 5, where he played on season 6, where Blight went to LAN. He ponied up the cash because of Black Fogger not doing so to get the rest of his team there, and then he played on like a cardboard mouse pad, left-handed, by the way, right? Him and Mezzo used cardboard because they didn't have mouse pads or forgot them. I don't know.
They forgot their mouse pads and they just like picked up some cardboard and were like, "Yeah, we'll win LAN with this."
Yep.
But yeah, so Smacka's setup is pretty crazy. For one, he plays left-handed, which isn't intrinsically that weird, but I guess statistically it's
fairly
not
unique,
that common. Yeah. He also plays with an extremely high sensitivity. We're talking like 2 centimeters for a 360, okay? It is insanely high. And he still manages to be a really good sniper with that. Like, there was one point where he was one of the best snipers in the game. He was really feared for that. Back in, like, the Rufio's Lost Boys days, playing in CVOP. Shout out if anyone knows who the hell Rufio's Lost Boys are.
He is still one of the most fearsome huntsman snipers.
Oh, he's fantastic at it. He also, like, he sometimes... Like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like... When he's playing, I think sometimes he plays with like a gamepad, and then rests his keyboard vertically against his monitor, and like can type with his keyboard being vertical. I don't know. It's like there's pictures of it from the ESEA Season 6 LAN. It's like his keyboard is at all kinds of unnatural angles, all sorts of witchcraft going on there.
Also, just the key bindings in general. What's his forward and backwards? Do you remember?
I don't even know, but I'm sure they're batshit crazy.
It's really awkward. Like, space is forwards, and like his right click is jump or something weird, and like it's like ESDF but not. And anyways, Smack is a cool guy but weird. Let's move on. Looks like we're getting ready to start. We have all 12 players in the server. I have not seen them readied up yet. I think
Smack is also really colorblind. How about that?
Very colorblind, yeah. That was also kind of
very colorblind.
I think he was one of the pioneers in getting Viaduct and Cold Front removed from the rotation because of snow and
because he couldn't see shit.
And he couldn't see. Like if he was on, I can't remember which side is which, but if he was on one of the colors, he couldn't see the players against the backgrounds of the other team. So, anyways, it's Smacka, cool guy.
Love him.
Love him. About Coal Plant, though, a lot of viable classes, just because of the way the map is laid out. It's not the longest rollout from spawn, it's like 2 rocket jumps. Heavy is pretty viable as well. There's a lot of spots where it's really good to rev up as Heavy. You can surprise them around the wall near the point, you can spin up on battlements and just deny any aggression. Sniper, very viable. Some decent sight lines. Forward holding as Sniper is actually very dangerous. If you're spawning, there's potential for easy spawn killing if you exit the right door and you're forward holding on their left battlements. What other off-classing? I don't know how viable Pyro is. I would love to see some sort of back burner underneath play. I don't know if we'll see it in this match. Somebody go do that in their open match and send me a YouTube clip of it when you get 5 kills.
I hate to interrupt you, Sean, but I have 2 questions.
Yes,
one, is the game paused?
Yep.
2,
he called it.
Sandwiches. Is Mala a hot dog with a hockey mask and octopus legs?
Let me do some investigating.
Have I had too much Everclear?
No, what is this? He's got octopus legs and a hot dog head with a hockey mask. Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's not just the Everclear.
And our buddy Decimate has a little bat flying over his shoulder. Like, I don't... They added so many items. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what this game is anymore, Sean.
That's an incredible
live?
let-out. That's an incredible let-out. It is unpaused now. It's still not live. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Are we live? Take the first...
No. I mean,
just
this
kidding.
hot dog is just sitting here, so I don't think he's doing anything. I feel like this hot dog would be engaging. Oh, the squid legs make squishy sounds when he walks. That's great.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Man, can you wear those with the jingle bells or not?
Christmas and Halloween, Sean. Come on.
But well, full moon. There's a full moon around Christmas, probably.
That
Wait,
just
the
be,
jingle bell's not restricted. I don't. Let's move on. TF2 items.
That'd be party foul.
What other classes are viable? NG is actually fairly interesting on this map. You can get a tele up, get your respawns there really quick. So a lot of cheeky sentry spots. Behind the shutter was made famous by Mackie in a match. You build up your sentry to level 3 behind the shutter and just open it when they're on the point and just wreak havoc. I think NG also on Koth, especially on a map like this where it's a little easier to stabilize when you're holding and you can build up a sentry farm on your bats. NG is viable. Spy, very good. Is that all of them? That's all of them.
Yep.
Expect to see some
All the
all-classic out of the
classes
roamers
in this
and the
video
scouts.
game.
I would be shocked if Decimate did not snipe at some point during this. Anyways, looks like we are live now. I have not seen anyone disconnect. Wait a minute. They did unpause. Oh, so Decimate has 700 ping. Looks like it might be stabilized. They're unpaused. I'm gonna watch blue. It looks like they are, lost in translation, excuse me, they are rolling out strong on the left side. I think the enemy team below average actually trade sides with them. Badonsky taking really heavy pressure. If Medic does hook up with him, we've got Shootist with a really timely flank through the shutter. A Muffin getting a spam kill with across the point there. Eldritch has 70 health. He actually does escape the counter bomb from Mabla. So good surf there by Eldritch. Both medics do survive, so we could see a quick repush by Lost in Translation. The initial fight and cap go to below average.
Yeah, we have Alpha right now at 100% Uber. Eldritch as well at about 100% Uber. Alpha buffing his team as, I don't know if you can hear that, but the cops are coming for me, Sean! I'm going to shout through the sirens. Decimate up on that left point, trying to push the red team out of mid. Give his team a bit of room to work. Gets taken out by Spam Pill from Control F Muffin. Uber popped on Smack. It dives into that demo man, forces the Uber from below average, or above average. There's something average. Sean, the cops are coming for me. Take it away.
Alright, really good late counter over there by Eldritch to save Control F Muffin. Actually, we've got Mela. I was wondering if he was still alive. He's creeping around in their lobby. Now he's just gathering health kits and trolling the crap out of these scouts on the enemy battlements. The respawns are going to finally clean him up, but actually he's making enough room for Lost in Translation to look like they may get a cap. Actually, I take that back. Control F Muffin's got a Medic Beam and 8 stickies loaded, so he's going to deny the cap from them. And actually, it looks like Badonsky's going to pay for it with his life. We've got a bomb in late by Smack and not able to kill Eldritch. Didn't quite get enough damage on him. Decimate thought about pouncing down and finishing off that kill. He doesn't quite have the HP to get the kill anymore, and actually Eldritch grabbed a pack, so looks like below average able to stabilize. I thought maybe Lost in Translation might be able to get the cap off of Mela's distraction play. Not the case.
Yeah, right now we have below average sitting at 1 minute 30 and change left on that clock, so they have half of this round in the bag. As they do get pushed out of this midpoint by the advancing combo of Lost in Translation. Mela for Lit goes down, but Smacka takes down Chaz in the process. That's a scout. Sezco picking up the pick onto Patty, but still not able to wedge themselves back into that point. They do get forced out, and below average, not able to get back into that point. We have Lost in Translation right now, finally getting some time on that clock. 15 seconds down and counting. Ubers are even for both teams. You see a bit of a stalemate as below average are waiting for their spawns to come back in. Finally, everyone's getting buffed. They're starting to make their way back to the point. The scouts are trying to push Decimate off that high ground. We have Dilithies coming in. The engagement does begin. Shootist bombs onto the medic, not able to make him pop. He gets taken down by Sezco. Smacka able to force the Uber of below average. So right now we have Eldritch a little bit far behind. He's too low on health. He can't commit with his team. He can't follow up. He has to stay back. And because Eldritch was so hurt, because he couldn't follow up with the aggression of his team, Alpha hasn't even popped his Uber yet. They might be able to take this point for free. Or rather, hold it, I should say.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out. I think Mablo is actually running a black box. Kind of questionable. There's a lot of health kits on this map, but interesting to see it used. Badowski takes down Patty. I believe Patty was trying to get some cap time for below average. Actually, Lost in Translation still has their Uber and the cap, so they're in a very good position now. They need to make some sort of force play on Alpha and get this Uber popped. Below average does. Yeah, looks like
definitely.
Mabla is still on the black box. Interesting.
Oh, wait, is he running black box? Has been running that the whole game?
I don't know. They both have bats equipped. Alright, looks like the push is coming out from below average. They don't have Uber yet. This is actually a really interesting play. They jump 2 members aggressively across the left side into the lobby, trying to get some sort of flank and get them a little out of position. But Lost in Translation, actually they did get the force. I guess I don't know where the force came from. They pushed across the point with the Uber. Smart to not overextend though. We've got Mabla spamming the spawn with the black box, trying to delay their repush here a little bit. Did you manage to get the force on Alpha there?
No, I have no idea who got the force on Alpha, but right now we do have cap time being pretty even for both of these teams. Lost in Translation slowly pulling ahead. They got about a 30-second advantage, but we have below average coming back in, getting ready. They haven't popped their Uber quite yet, despite forcing... Oh no, as I say that, Eldritch pops his Uber on this scout. That's Chaz. Chaz is going deep. He manages to pick up Alpha, takes down the medic before getting picked off by Badonsky and Sesko in tandem. Sesko currently fighting a scout in his lobby. As the cap does go for below average.
And Eldritch escapes. Chaz wanted that Uber. I was kind of questioning it when they were down 2 members and already capping. It looks like they were not going to contest, but Chaz, I guess, saw an opportunity to get the medic with it. He gave his life at the end of it, but Eldritch survived, so it ended up being a very good play. The repush is coming on the left side from Lost in Translation. Badonsky actually takes down Patty before they even exit the lobby, and looks like that pick is going to be enough to push below average out of the point, and I think they'll get a cap out of this. The Ubers actually have equalized at this point. Oh, I take that back.
Decimate managing to sneak in.
Shoot is
takes down Sure Shot.
Shoot is very nearly able to kill Alpha on that bomb. Sorry about interrupting.
It's okay, I still love you. Speaking of Ubers and killing medics and whatnot, we have completely even Ubers right now for these two teams. But Lost in Translation in control of the point. Less than 30 seconds left on that clock. Below average. We're going to have to make this Uber count. I'm going to put my eyes on Sure Shot right now. It looks like he might get some of this Uber. No. Not popped yet. Gets popped on the demo man. Sure Shot taking a little flash there. Have to fall back because not much health on him. Uber is popped for Lost in Translation shortly thereafter. Sesko right now is who I'm watching. He's got a full buff trying to fight down this scout. Sesko heading back towards the point. Trying to assist take down that soldier. Now it's him versus this buff scout. Numbers are pretty even on both teams. Health is a bit better on Lost in Translation, and the cap is finished. They held it for 3 minutes. 1-0 in favor of Lost in Translation.
I think the positioning at the end of that last Uber fight was the round decider for Lost in Translation. They had 2 soldiers on the roof, and they actually killed the Control F Muffin immediately as the Uber faded, so the damage and the health was in favor. Actually, a really crazy rollout from Shootist to surprises Badonsky and takes him down as he exits Shutter. It looks like below average is also aggressive on the left crate. This looks like a really good middle for them. I think after the early death from Badonsky, Lost in Translation might just get out straight away. Mela is still running around on his battlements. I think if he gets this health kit, he might come in for a play. Lost in Translation still wants to stay in this fight, and actually Badonsky is already respawning and rolling out, so it's a good decision by them. The cap time has actually just become available. Control F Muffin survives with 7 health from the Smacka bomb, and Smacka gets cleaned up. Actually, Control F Muffin gets traded for by Sesko. Good aggression there by Sesko to clean up Smacka's damage. Both medics are still alive. I have Mela walking to defend the point here. The scout is destroyed and the medic has to retreat with 89% Uber. I wonder if Mela is going to try to catch him out here. The medic does a smart thing and falls back to last instead of going for the health kit. I think Mela would have caught him with the rocket there if he had gone for the kit.
Yeah, I think Mela wanted some blood there. Right now, we do have even Ubers for both teams once again. Listen, Sean, I got this.
Okay.
We have even Ubers for both teams once again. Watching Patty right now, sort of at this shutter, trying to move out. 2 picks, though, for Lost in Translation, taking out 2 members of below average. Patty getting onto the opposing team's medic, forcing them to pop at the very least. Eldritch's Uber is gone. He's going to start backing out. Alpha's Uber is just now wearing off. Badonsky taking down Eldritch. Only 2 players up for below average. They have some spawns now, so that's 3 players up. And we have Lost in Translation taking this point now. This is the first cap, Sean. The point hasn't been capped at all yet this round. This is a crazy, long, bloody initial fight.
Yeah, Shootist got a great early pick on Badonsky. I guess that's one of the first time I've seen the Koth format, the cap time being locked at the start of the round come into effect, because they weren't able to turn that into a mid-cap. Very interesting. I have Patty flying all over the map, actually, able to escape to the left health kit, forced the medic back in, actually took down Alpha. Actually, Alpha died to a Control F Muffin Trap or a Sticky Spam, so Eldritch now has a 60, it's gonna end up being about 75% Uber advantage. I'm gonna look to see a play from Mela here, who's hiding on the left health kit, the left battlements. He's trying to deny a scout, and I think if he sees the medbay, he might try to go for a play. Actually, he does. He does hop back up there on the battlements with Decimate. Decimate gets spotted out. Mela gets a second bomb. Actually, takes down Eldritch. Incredible bomb there by Mela to get the enemy medic killed. Actually, I didn't see the Alpha Uber get popped. Where did that get exchanged?
I'm not sure. I was enthralled by the plays that Mela was doing there. I'm watching him play really aggressively up on that left flank. Right now,
below average to take down Alpha. I don't think they're going to get him. Really good surf by Alpha up to the back battlements. Doesn't come into play too often in these lobby fights. But he utilizes it there to get away with his life. And actually, I think Sure Shot able to get the cap for red, so getting a little bit of time. He maybe wanted to be involved in the lobby fight, because now Alpha did not go down, so it's still a huge Uber advantage. And they're just going to recap it right away because they were down 4. So I think maybe if Muffin and Sure Shot were in that lobby fight, they might have actually finished off Alpha. They elected to cap instead, but it's already been retaken, so they got 10 seconds of time there.
Yeah, right now we have Chaz up on Sniper. With such a big Uber disadvantage for below average, pushing this point and getting time, and it's not really an option unless they make a play, have some kind of pick come in. Chaz posturing aggressively on this point, peeking out of the shutter, really wants to get an angle on this medic, but is forced to deal with these pressure on his flank coming in from these scouts. I'm going to keep watching Chaz. He does potentially have a shot here on the medic, but no, he gets pushed out by the spam, dropping down to 27 health. And his Decimate goes down to a spam rocket from Patty. The Uber does get popped on Alpha, lost in translation. The Uber's off. Eldritch has 92%, needs to finish his Uber up so they can come back in and start getting some time on this point. I'm watching Eldritch right now, moving in, buffing his team up as 2 members of Lost in Translation are down, so they've backed out of this point. A lot of presence for below average here as one bomb from Smacka does come in, takes down the Dome Man, Control F Muffin before Chaz manages to pick him off. Patty getting picked off, trying to work that distraction play. Chaz picks up a headshot onto a scout there, not enough to kill him as he has a buff. Alpha only at 40% Uber. I wonder if they're going to go for a force play here on Eldritch.
I think they kind of already did, but Smacka, he only did about 62, but he did take down the demo. I actually see Mobla jumping around left battlements, and actually he's behind them right now. He's getting it pinched by the spawning soldier. Actually, Chaz is just running at him with an SMG, saying, "Look what I got for you." Looks like Badonsky's holding Shutter pretty passively. They are trying to work this into a push, which is kind of surprising. They have 2 scouts in the red. One of them gets cleaned up. Sesko taken down by Control F Muffin. I don't think they can work any cap time here, so it's kind of dangerous for Badonsky to just be peeking Shutter against a sniper. Looks like Lost in Translation trying to just muscle their way in. They finally do get Uber. I would like to see them just wait until they had it, and then they would have kept their other spawner alive, but they're going to have to wait for him now. They're getting buffed up in the left lobby, and I think the push is going to come out from there. The sniper Chaz does have his dot over there. Let's see if he gets a pick here. Actually gets pushed by a scout. Actually misses his initial shot. The Uber is forced from Alpha. Eldritch yet to pop, and he does lose his sniper and a soldier. It's going to be a good Uber by Control F Muffin. Actually just getting stickies on the point, denying the cap time, which is really good. And actually Alpha and Badonsky taken down by the stickies that were just carpeting the point there. Eldritch does go down at the end of the Uber. Muffin trades himself for Mela. So really good trades there. I think Sesko ducked in the lobby, actually thought better of it. We got a 2v2 Scout MGE Arena on the point right now. Actually, we've got 2 red spawners as well. Just ruining the potential MGE glory that Chaz
right now I got
Sure
eyes on Smacka on the wrong side of the map. He was hiding for a little bit, but he has unfortunately been spotted out by that enemy soldier. Smacka trying to get back underneath the point, get that health kit, go back up to full health, but it has been stolen by Shootist, who gets juggled up into the ceiling and kills himself on his own rocket.
Interesting. You don't see that every day. Alright, Mela complaining a little about the map. He's actually having a really good performance so far. I don't understand why he's so upset about it. Experimenting with the black box instead of just keeping that 4th rocket for gunboats. Maybe a little questionable, but I don't know, he's making it work. I think he's getting some plays made, so I'm a little, I don't know, confused why he's upset. His team's also winning currently, which is really good. Looks like Lost in Translation has an Uber and about 10 seconds left. Below average is going to get their Uber in about 2 seconds to try and work this into a push, but it's going to back to a really good Uber, and they got to make sure to keep some cap time up during it, otherwise the round will just end here, unless they get a cap turned over. Take it away, Lange.
Alpha's Uber is popped much earlier than Eldritch. Eldritch is just standing on that point. They have to try to get any cap time they can. They cannot let that point dwindle down to 0. If they do, they will lose this round. Control up and standing on it, giving away everything he has. Mela coming into the fight, into the fray, and not going to be able to do it for below average. That's 2-0 for Lost in Translation.
Alright, I want to give props to Mela yet again during that fight. Badonsky and Alpha just focusing the Uber on the cap and getting a couple kills just by denying the cap time. Mela actually ducked into the right and just walked out Shedder and got 2 kills at the end too. So really good pinch maneuver from Mela there. Looks like below average still coming out on the left side. The medic demo are walking across point. Badonsky gets taken down. I see Smacka was aggressive on the battlements, comes flying back into the fight, but I think it's a little too late. Looks like the early pick from Badonsky might give below average the advantage in this fight.
Yeah, right now I'm watching the scouts for Lost in Translation as Decimate goes down, unfortunately, right at the moment my camera gets to him. Smacka jumping back, getting his medic out of this fight, trying to get him out of the danger zone. That's the highway off-ramp to the danger zone, from the danger zone. That's the lesser-known song there, not quite as popular. Came out in the 90s. A difficult second album, no one really... Anyway, we have Ubers up for both teams right now. One player down, that's Sezco, Lost in Translation. Smacka just kind of posturing, trying to get a little bit of room for his team to work, maybe let his demo man spam a bit. Smacka's actually out pretty far here, wants to maybe start getting onto this point, getting some really good spam on that demo man, but his Uber does get hot from his medic Alpha, and he's forced to jump in aggressive, and he drops! Eldritch takes him down! Crisp, fast rocket jump, nothing Eldritch could have done, didn't see the damage coming. Smacka does finally go down, pays for his hubris. But Shoot is not able to take down Alpha. So right now we have 5 players up for Lost in Translation, only 2 for below average, and that's going to be a point cap for Lit.
Yeah, Alpha's surviving there with 21 health, but that's enough. So he does survive. Eldritch, he wasn't healing forever. I think he was going to collect a health kit, didn't have anyone with him. So Eldritch's disadvantage for Uber is only about 10%. They're not that far behind. Actually, I think they're just going to turn this into a 6-man push because Alpha's Uber was also used. Good decision by them. They're trying to get some cap time as early as possible. Looks like it's not going to work for him. Looks like Shootist gets taken down immediately on the aggression. Sureshot getting a trade on the scout flank. Actually, Eldritch getting some really good heals on these scouts. If they can get into the fight and get some picks, they still have a shot at winning this fight. Alpha is about 10% away, building much more efficiently than Eldritch. Really impressive. He's made up about 30% advantage out of 10, so I don't know how he did that. Looks like Red's actually making a play onto Mela and Smacka, takes them both down simultaneously. They're going to get some cap time out of that. Alpha electing to save the Uber for the spawns and the repush instead of defending the point with it. Probably a good call. They thought the Ubers were about even, so I don't think they knew they had about a 30% advantage.
Yeah, I don't think they realized how much more efficient their building was, or I guess how inefficient the building of the other team was. Right now I'm watching Badonsky for Lost in Translation, started peeking out this left side. God, I really like this aggression from Lost in Translation. They don't waste any time. They don't, sit back and forth in that door and try to wait for a perfect moment. They just go in and make one. Uber popped earlier for Alpha, later here for Eldritch. I'm going to try to get my eyes into that red combo. Actually, right now watching Shootist underneath the point, coming up from behind. He goes to bomb, and really all that's there is his own team as Lost in Translation is pushed out.
Was it a good bomb on his own team, though?
It was a good bomb on his own team. I mean, it scared me, scared them.
If friendly fire was on, could he have wiped them?
Oh, absolutely.
Alright, really good positioning there by Shootist. Looks like the bomb from Lost in Translation. Again, they just muscle their way out of the top left. It looks like Alpha ate a pipe. Never mind, that was a scout. Alright, delicious pipe, the scout says. The heal advantage is definitely in favor of Alpha's Lost in Translation team right now. Really good spreads to the scouts right there. Actually, Mela chasing down Patty. Blue is still getting, Lost in Translation is still getting some favorable trades on the enemy battlements. Not overextending themselves though, they've now got cap time and about a 30% advantage once again.
To me, it feels like in this game that Lost in Translation are really just... They're good at sort of making something out of nothing. This is one of those maps where it's notoriously easy to sort of get stuck in those Uber stalemates, where it's like, well, we both have Uber and it's a Koth map, how do we make anything happen? But Lit, they sort of get in there.
Yeah, Shootist actually snuck in and got a really early force on Alpha. His Uber's over, he does manage to get out to lobby with about 30 health. Sezco and Decimate clean up Patty and SureShot actually in lobby, so actually now who's brought the meat to middle? Mela has brought the heavy mans to middle, so he's fed up with Romer even though he's playing incredible right now, and he elects to bring out heavy. If he was on Soldier right now, dare I say, Eldritch might be under a little bit more... Oh, never mind! Smack is just going to kill him with the equalizer. Really, really good
It's
adaptation there by Smack. He's like, well, Melee's on heavy, so I'll just be the roamer mans. Goes and takes down the medic. Eldritch says, want to scream. I agree, Eldritch. If you get melee killed when by a player taking mini crits, that's not on you. You did your best.
Yeah, definitely a frustrating position to be placed in by the smack attack, as I like to call him in private when it's just us alone. Anyway, we have Bomb coming in from Shootist, forcing the Uber 4 lost in translation. 3 players down for below average to make that bomb happen. Eldritch building right now. Where is he? Where is he building that Uber? Building all the way back in spawn with his demo man. Control F Muffin at about 45% Uber, but only have about a 25% advantage for all that work. I'm not sure how much they can get done with a 25% advantage on this map, Sean.
Yeah, it's gonna be enough. They know the enemy Uber was forced, so they can still try and push. They don't necessarily need to wait for an advantage. Actually, it is the blue lost in translation. They're trying to forward hold with this heavy. Actually, Sesko, never mind. Sesko takes down Eldritch's really well-timed flank. I thought they may have overextended themselves in the lobby there. They were down 2 really quickly, but it was at the expense of Sesko getting behind the enemy team and taking down Eldritch before he was able to finish building it and pop the Uber on the push. So they are going to get the cap time because they did use 5 members to kill the medic, but they did kill the medic, so they have a 60% advantage, and 6 members have respawn because that's how Koth spawns work. Once again, they're going to cluster up in left lobby, get everyone buffed. I really like this from Shootist, actually getting some spam damage in there to ruin the health before they actually get into the point. But it looks like Lost in Translation is going to bring their Uber in. Alpha not yet taking any damage, still milking. Good picks so far by Lost in Translation, only dropping Sesko on this push. Alpha does finally get forced. It looks like they are going to manage to get some cap time.
Yeah, Shootist having a lot of good aggression there. Eldritch bringing out the Bonesaw. Unfortunately, the DPS is not quite there for him. We have overtime right now for below average. 20 seconds left on that clock, counting down for Lost in Translation. Alpha has an Uber advantage, but it's not going to matter. We got about 16 seconds left in this round before it's decided. I'm going to try to get my eyes on who's that soldier bombing in. Someone from the red team is bombing in aggressively. They need to get on this point. They need to start getting some cap time. Moblaw returns the favor with the bomb. He's got a great angle on the red team. Manages to take down Shootist before being forced off of that high ground. Smack coming in now. Bringing up the pressure once more, but he gets juggled just out of the air by that scout. And it looks like the health is better for below average, and they can probably retake this cap. Maybe not, actually. Lost in Translation has the better spawns.
Yeah, they had the spawn advantage, and they were desperately getting healed up there towards the end. Mela actually, with 2 incredible plays in that exchange, he jumped up top right, kind of counter-bomb Shootist, cleaned him up, and he was doing incredible damage from the top right. And then once he finally started getting shot at by the enemy demo and scout, he just dropped down, walked underneath, jumped to the kit, jumped up the other side, and then bombed the point and did probably 400 damage with about 2 or 3 rockets. Able to force a win during that fight for his team, so well played by Mela once again. Is this halftime? Question mark? It is halftime.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an intense pregame rollout. Okay.
So we're sitting at a half, right? I feel like these guys are DMing hard. They're chomping at the bit.
This is an intense match. Anyways, again, Mela doesn't like the map, but he's been playing very, very well for his team, I think, putting himself in the right position at the right time. Timing is a lot on this map, I think, and just seeing him walk out of the enemy's lower exit and their enemy shutter as they are trying to desperately cap at the end of the round. Just perfectly timed flanks by Mela. Also, the big play by Sesko to kill Eldritch on that repush where they had an Uber advantage finally. So
yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now, and they're telling an interesting tale here. So the damage is kind of close. 33,000 damage for Lost in Translation, 30,000 damage for below average. But the difference in frags is enormous. We have 100 frags for Lost in Translation and only 68 for below average. So it feels like, in these spam stalemates, both of these teams are racking up a lot of damage. There's that stat padding going on. But like I was saying before, it seems like when it comes to those committed pushes where you have to make things happen in a very short window, Lost in Translation is doing a much better job of actually getting that turnaround, getting the results, getting the frags that they need out of their damage. They're able to convert their damage into frags, into a man advantage, and that's why they're able to get so much more time on this point and hold it so much more comfortably.
ESEA does not show health kits picked up, and it's kind of upsetting because I think that may also be a kind of maybe one of the not side effects, but one of the catalysts, I guess, of the damage being fairly equal but not amounting to frags. Decimate, Badonsky, Mela, all very well-established puggers, kind of pug all-stars. Actually, Mela, just the general roamer play on this map is just gunboats to all the health kits and get them all. But Decimate, as I've played a pug or two against Decimate on Ashfield, he is a fearsome opponent. If he takes damage, will just go pick up all the health kits until he's full health. So maybe the damage just not being converted into frags and lost in translation is not overextending themselves and just falling back, getting a health kit, getting healed up for the quicker repush. So.
Yeah, I sort of wish we had more advanced health stat tracking on ESEA. That'd be useful for a lot of analytics, but alas, we do not.
I'm gonna go watch the demo later and I'll do a spreadsheet for you.
Alright, I appreciate it. I'll expect a book report on Monday.
I'm not really gonna do that, I was kidding.
Oh.
I can't believe you thought I was serious.
Dude, I listen, I've never been trolled.
Alright, so quite the dominant first half from Lost in Translation. I think I've seen some pretty okay Uber exchanges out of below average and good just pushes in general. Their mid fights, Shootist definitely catching Badonsky off guard that one middle, but they didn't turn it into. I think they needed to get more aggressive early on with their damage advantage, having Muffin up and Badonsky being dead. Instead, they just kind of just played it passive, and Lost in Translation waited for Badonsky to spawn and roll back out, and actually they ended up winning that mid fight, I think. So
yeah, that was a really interesting mid fight. I definitely thought that Shootist's play would have put it in the bag for below average, but yeah,
right, instantly taking down the enemy demo and then jumping away.
Yeah, whoever's the playmaker, or I should say the caller on Lost in Translation, made that split-second judgment call to, just hold back, we'll just wait for our spawns to come back. And they just played it safe. Badonsky came up before Shootist, and they sort of just came back in and took the point back.
Yeah, I just think in general, I've seen more plays being made on the side of Lost in Translation. That was my follow-up thought to the Shootist story about him killing Badonsky, was just going to be that. Aside from that, I haven't really seen very dynamic plays or anything being made by anyone on below average. Whereas, Sezco got a really good pick on the enemy medic. Mela and Smack have been flying all over dropping Eldritch. It's been a rough game for him, for sure. And then I think Badonsky actually getting a double kill on Eldritch and I want to say the pocket soldier Patty. Just a lot more dynamism being exhibited by Lost in Translation.
Yeah, speaking of dynamism, Sezco is actually putting up a crazy stat line right now. So he's playing Scout, and he has 307 damage a minute. That's pretty impressive in and of itself. He also has 28 frags, 16 assists, and 10 deaths. He has more assists than his medic, and he has the most frags in the game. So Sezco is doing all sorts of damage.
Yeah, definitely exerting himself, having a pretty formidable presence on this midpoint. It's very good for scouts. You get a buff, you play up top on the roof, and you shoot soldiers, and then you kill other things when the soldiers are dead. But he looks like he's having a very good match thus far. I'll probably try and get some more Sezco cam in the second half here.
Speaking of second half, I think it went live at some point.
Yeah, it's live, by the way. I guess we didn't really address that. Oh my god, what an incredible first half from Sezco. Who cares about the second half? Looks like Lost in Translation pushing with their Uber on the right side, taking some really good spam damage on the way in. Alpha yet to take any, however, still milking, finally does pop. Looks like the aggression is going to come out. The Ubers are traded. Smacka is actually going to get taken down at the end of this, I think. Maybe not. He's going to escape to the enemy lobby, so he's going to be a threat to come back in later, get some cleanup kills. And actually, the man advantage is in favor of Lost in Translation. And they've got to worry about Smacka and Mela. I didn't think Mela was hiding in there with Smack. They said hello to each other, and Mela just flew into the enemy combo. Badonsky just walks out with Alpha and takes out Chaz and Shootist. And actually, he's jumping very aggressively to the enemy's battlements and takes down Control F Muffin. Nice play from Badonsky, taking down 3 members and gonna force the other 3 all the way into spawn. We have kind of a spawn cam developing, but they don't have enough members of their team up there. I think the rest of them were capping the point, so they couldn't join them in the forward or the spawn camp at least. They do have a forward hold set up on the left, very aggressively, forcing below average to push out into the lobby. side and not the left side. Chaz has actually already taken out 2 members on Sniper. Let's get the scope cam up on Chaz. Actually took down 2. It looks like he's going to cycle the scouts. And never mind. Cancel that, Kurt.
I'm not sure how I feel about that aggression from Lost in Translation. It feels like it was a bit overambitious. They sort of donated 2 picks without really getting anything in return. I guess they bought themselves a little bit of time. Ubers here are relatively even. Eldritch has his Uber a few seconds before Alpha's going to have his. Popped on the point here. They don't want to let this cap go. Uber Funny is popped for below average as well. Both Ubers weighing off right about now. Not a whole lot happening just yet. Melee taking down Shootist. That's roamer on roamer violence. I don't know, a much better health on Lost in Translation. Seems like they're definitely getting the upper hand in this fight. I see almost everyone on Lit is buffed, whereas really nobody on below average has, you know, an overheal going on for them.
Yeah, once again, Melo took down Shootist, I think, won the roamer battle on the flank, and then he bombed in on the right roof, and Control F Muffin was currently being the saddest demo in the world because he duffed a jump, and then Melo just killed him because he had 24 health, because he sat on a sticky bomb. Looks like they do have the quicker spawns, though, and Mela is still dead, so they're going to muscle the cap here below averages. They're going to get it taken back. Looks like the time is about 40 seconds in favor of Lost in Translation, and they're still holding aggressively in the left lobby. I've seen this over and over. I wouldn't expect them to change anything at this point. They're going to stay left lobby. Everyone's going to come get buffed. Actually, their flank is just putting really good pressure on the right side of the map already. So the combo's just kind of trying to walk out. They do get forced by Patty. Really good force play by him, getting them to split a couple times as well. The Uber's already expired and allowing below average to get theirs, and actually a counter push coming in. They do take down Badonsky. Alpha able to escape. I don't think there's actually, yeah, Mela, I think, is floating around in the enemy battlements, fighting a scout here, trying to hit some directs in the enemy lobby. He gets cleaned up by both scouts and gets pinched. Lange, take it away. I need some water, apparently.
Apparently. So right now I have Sesko and Decimate.
27 years old.
Alright, Seanbud confirmed, 27 years old. So we have Sesko and Decimate sort of getting the chariot treatment from Alpha, getting buffed, trying to push the enemy team out of this point. Control F Muffin managing to pick up a pick. I keep saying that. He kills Decimate with his gun. But in health, not that great. Once again, on below average, we see Lit coming back in. They really want to clear this out, but they donate 2 picks to the opposing team's cause. But we do see them get on this point. They are starting to cap it. They only need a minute 20 left. Right now, that point is in control below average, though. 40 seconds and counting down. Smacka and his medic forced to back out. The spam is too great, but they do get their Uber now. They have a 20% advantage, and I think they know that. Smacka bombing in aggressively over this hut. Wants to get that roamer, but he backs away too quickly. They gotta start getting this cap. Eldritch is gonna have his Uber really soon. Mela picks up Patty. I'm not gonna say pick up a pick. I'm not gonna say picks up a pick. Smacka Ubered on this point here. Uber's pop for both teams. Shootist in the backfield, distracting the enemy team, trying to pick that demo man. Not happening. Decimate finally makes a frag happen, taking down Chaz. Sure Shot getting real aggressive, trying to bully the enemy demo medic combo out of their shutter. And, you know, neither team is really feeling comfortable on this point yet. We're at overtime right now for below average. Lost in Translation really needs to secure this point. It looks like they're going to do that. 2 players left up for below average. We have 1 spawning now, so that brings it back up to 2 after Patty goes down. But, you know, Alpha gets taken down in the process. I think we're going to see both medics spawning pretty closely together here. We're going to have about 15-20% Uber advantage for Eldritch.
Yeah, Eldritch, maybe a questionable decision by Eldritch or below average overall. They did not need to commit to that fight. They had a minute advantage on time. They didn't need to win right there. They went for it, though, and actually Patty came flying in at the end and took down Alpha. So it turned out to be an okay decision, but if he hadn't killed the medic, they could be in a poor spot. Some really good aggression out of Shutter by Lost in Translation, because they've got to defend the point. If blue caps, they win the round, and actually Lost in Translation with just the heal being tanked, Sesko and Decimate, the scout pairing, able to get some cleanup on the point and stop the cap. So saving the round 4 now. Looks like I don't think they're going to get Uber in time. I think if below average rushes to the point, they can take it before the Lost in Translation gets the Uber, or at least force a fight. I see the scouts, Chaz and Sureshot, trying to hop on it right now. They're just forcing cap time, making the enemy walk on the stickies. Really good play by them. They still 100%, 99% Uber. Alpha unable to get it in time to save the round. So we do not have a roll. We do not have a 4-0. It's that's gonna be the first round for below average. So maybe blue is favored on this map. You never know.
It's
not. It's not.
Is this map CT sided?
It's
is
weird.
that?
it's a CT-sided map.
CT-sided.
Looks like Lost in Translation came out of Shutter this middle. Alpha taking a lot of damage. He gets taken down really early by Chaz, getting aggressive across the point after he got juggled by a soldier bomb. Eldritch now needs to keep his life. His life is very, very valuable. He's got about a 60% Uber advantage once Alpha spawn. He's got 2 scouts on the point with him. Not confident enough to cap with those 2 scouts though. Chaz is going to take his buff and try and take down Badonsky, and he does succeed in doing so. Mela is actually trolling the crap out of Sureshot, gets him taken down, and actually lives to tell the tale. He's collecting another health kit on the enemy battlements. So look, just wreaking havoc in the enemy backlines all game is Mela.
Speaking of trolling, I guess, I'm watching Smacker right now. He's on Sniper, but he's using the bizarre bargain. He picks up 1 headshot on a soldier, taking him down. Currently scoped up on the soldier on the midpoint, not able to get him as that Uber is popped. That Uber's going to be on Control F Muffin, trying to do what he can, but solo demo Ubers are pretty hard in a retreating team. There's not a whole lot you can do unless you can completely sticky off their route of retreat, but they were too fast for that. We see Lost in Translation coming back in immediately, but Control F Muffin pushing directly into them, doing as much damage, causing as much havoc as he can as Smacka gets the scout headshot onto Chaz. That's 3 players down from below average, make that 2 now as their spawns are coming back up, but Lost in Translation is going to remain firmly in control at this point as Alpha's Uber slowly takes over to 100%.
Yeah, Decimate Sezgo, maybe a little mistimed there on the aggression into lobby. It doesn't matter because Smacka is going to snipe Eldritch as he exits the lobby. Alpha, upon seeing that the enemy medic has died, just content to right-click, even though the enemy was going for a force play. Smacka actually hitting another headshot on the enemy demo. Looks like he finally might get cleaned up in the soldier scout flank, and actually a very well-timed flank from below average. They just had people all over Lost in Translation's lobby, and then just walked back out onto the point and were able to retake it. Still some cleanup happening on the flank. Chaz takes down Decimate.
That was kind of the Shootist and Patty show. I think they got like 4 or 5 kills there in rapid succession. Shootist, again, sort of impressed me with his roamer play, able to get behind Lost in Translation as they were trying to back up and sort of say, nah, able to pick up Alpha, prevent his retreat, and sort of open the door for his team to get control of this point once more. 65% Uber for Eldritch, 35% Uber for Alpha, 30% advantage for below average. But still, Lost in Translation not taking no for an answer. They're peeking in as aggressively as they can, doing as much damage as possible, peeking out of this left door.
Yeah, Decimate getting a little aggressive on the left shack, trying to push back the enemy soldiers. He gets taken down. I believe he was traded for Shootist. The below average Uber does get popped, and they're going to get a few kills out of this. They actually do kill Alpha. Chaz took him down. I don't know if that was in the Uber or on the flank and lobby somewhere. Either way, nice kill on the enemy medic by Chaz. On the way out, though, after the Uber, Eldritch does get taken down. So they were not able to get a cap out of that. It seems like just maybe they were a little overextended onto the point there at the end of the Uber. I thought they were in a really good position when Alpha went down. They had a couple picks as well. They did have the actually they did have the point cap at the end of that. So, and it was Lost in Translation is going to get the quicker respawns and finally get the point taken in their favor. It looks the time's actually going to be equalized here in about 4 seconds.
Yeah, and all that mayhem, Patty manages to do a really impressive set of rocket jumps and take down Alpha with 2 well-placed rockets. So it's going to be big Uber advantage, about 45-50% for Eldritch, as they're trying to finish off this cap that's below average, is trying to finish off this cap. And I think, you know, Lost in Translation have been so aggressive. They really don't want to let that Uber advantage get up to 100% for free. I think they're going to keep peeking here, and we see Smacka actually trying to jump in, catches some interesting mid-air spam, and is just sort of stalled where he lies. Badonsky trying to cover his escape, but Smacka does get taken down, and I think that's going to stall out these aggressive efforts from Lost in Translation, as below average does have 100% Uber, 50% advantage over Lost in Translation. They're going to have to just sit here, and I believe they're going to have to wait for their Uber, and that's going to be, you know, another 10 or 15 seconds on the clock for below average.
Yeah, if Lost in Translation could have gotten cleanly, then they could have pushed before the enemy got their Uber. They did get the Uber because Smacka was taken out early on the push, so they just called off the push, waited for the Uber. They're actually trying to turn a couple picks, or 1 pick rather, into a push right now, which is questionable since they had 85% or so. Now they've got to wait for Mela to spawn once again. I think they're going to, once again, they're holding left lobby. Actually, Alpha walking across a couple stickies, sort of dangerous there. Actually, Smacka a little over-eager, maybe a little miscommunication there, gets taken down, just eaten before Alpha is even like aware that Smacka's in and able to rescue him. The Uber is going to be very ineffective. They do get Eldritch's Force, but they're just going to have to fall out to lobby with that Alpha at 30 health, actually, nearly taken down. I think Patty was on the case, and Decimate takes Patty down, so... the Lost in Translation still trying to muscle their way onto the point. They kind of have to now. The urgency is just increasing. There's about 10 seconds left, so let's see if Below Average is able to defend the point here.
We have Chaz coming in, managing to get this flank on the medic. Can he do it? Can he clutch it out? No, he's not able to take down Alpha. As Lost in Translation does have a good hold in this point. Sesko picking up 2, maybe 3 in the chaos of Below Average, trying to stop that point at all costs. Because right now, if Below Average caps that point at all, they will win this round and make that 2-3, which is, you know, a lot less of a scary place to be than where they are now. Because keep in mind, this is Koth, first to 4 wins, not first to 5. So Lost in Translation are on match point here as they have 1 minute left, counting down on the clock. The aggression coming in from Below Average. Their jumps are getting stumped by Badonsky's spam, though. He's doing such a great job of keeping the aggression over this hut, you know, just neutralized. But a few kills are going in favor here. Below Average, it's 4 versus 5 right now. Numbers advantage in favor of Below Average, but the health advantage in favor of Lost in Translation as they still have their medic up. 100% Uber still for Alpha. 40 seconds left on the clock. 0% Uber for Eldritch. Is this going to come down to a last-second Uber exchange?
I think it just may, Lang.
Excellent analysis from the casting desk.
Sorry, Chaz was actually creeping around behind the enemy in their lobby. Thought he might get a force play. Actually, Lost in Translation does elect to Uber. I don't know if they saw an opportunity there. They're still trying to muscle their way in the lobby. They didn't quite have enough Uber left to turn it into anything. Actually, I take that back. Melo just walks in top left and duffs a jump. Otherwise, I think he may have gotten a kill on Eldritch there. Instead, he's going to get pinched by the respawns, which may turn this into an opportunity for Below Average to get some cleanup and get the point cap. Actually, it looks like they might do just that. Lost in Translation going to get forced to dive on it here. Sesko, be a hero, gets taken down. He's not a hero. Oh, never mind. Alpha, not a hero either. Never mind, cancel the hero. Below Average, well played there. I thought Melo was in a pretty good position to pinch the team on the repush, but he ended up not getting anything done, so Below Average got a couple picks on Mela and another flanker and just ended up winning the fight based on numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. We always like to see it come down to a double overtime. That's about as exciting as it can be. But as I'm saying, we have the aggression coming out on this mid-fight. Shootist once again, really just diving in there down Badonsky. We have 3 players down for Lost in Translation. Health is not great for them. Alpha is too hurt to really do much right now, whereas Eldritch is sitting pretty at full health. Alpha is somehow managing to have about a 15% Uber advantage throughout all that. But that's not going to matter too much as his spawns are so late that Eldritch should be able to comfortably match his Uber up to 100% there.
Match it. 100%.
Matchbox 20.
Lost in Translation yet again. I cannot say that team name. Clustering up in left lobby, trying to muscle their way through this choke point. It looks like Below Average is finally starting to adapt and get some heavy spam on that choke point before they're able to get out cleanly. It does stall the push quite a bit. The double soldier bomb has got to get some work done. It does not, and Muffin actually gets taken down, and Patty gets taken down. The Uber does get forced. Eldritch gets forced as well on the retreat. All he's got is Chaz. Chaz gets a kill on Smacka, able to defend the point as well. He's gonna bail into lobby. He's gonna try and get a kill here on Alpha. Alpha at 36 health. Chaz, one more shot. Oh, no, doesn't get it. Gets cleaned up by Decimate. Really good cleanup there from Lamelli. That's Decimate.
Lamelli. He's got that robot arm, man. You gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Below Average realizing that Lost in Translation just kind of buffing and just muscling their way out on the right side. I think they're trying to direct more spam there. It was a little mistimed last time. Actually, really crazy jumps here. The demo and both soldiers triple bombing to try and get play onto Alpha. I don't know if that was absolutely necessary. The Uber was used, so they could have just 6-man pushed there. Instead, they were going to get cleaned up. They do have the quick respawns, so maybe it was worth a shot, but maybe they saw an opening. Nothing dies on the side of Lost in Translation, so they're just in a very comfortable position right now.
You know what I've noticed, Sean, is a really pronounced lack of off-classing. Of course, as I say that, Chaz comes up on Sniper, so thanks a lot, bud. But I want to see some spy play, I want to see some NG, I want to see more Mob Law Russian. But I guess for now, the Chaz scope cam will have to do.
Yeah, I think Mela played pretty decent heavy. I think Spy is incredibly good on this map. Maybe they just don't want to roll the dice, I guess. They're comfortable in their scout play. They were up 3-1 They are 3-0 rather. Below average making a little bit of a comeback here. The Ubers finally exchanged on point. Looks like below average is gonna last a few extra seconds. I think a soldier, actually never mind, a medic got skyboxed, took about 30 damage on the way down. Alpha does survive, however. Eldritch with about 70 health. Actually, he's getting pressured. I don't know where that is. He does survive. I think Decimate was trying to pistol him down. That robot arm pistol by Decimate is very powerful. He gets cleaned up, however, so the Ubers are almost exactly the same right now. I don't see any off-class. Never mind, Chaz is on Sniper. Wow, Chaz! Chaz! We're trying to be good pastors here.
Come on, Chaz. We're ruining it. Chaz confirmed for killing esports. Below average, still comfortably holding this point. Control of Muffin actually getting taken down by the skill stick from Smacka, as Shootus does take down Smacka with those little mini crits. Decimate taking down Patty. 2 players down for both teams, both heavy classes. It's going to be a battle at hitscan for the next couple seconds here. Sezco does get taken out by Sure Shot. A little excited, saw Meta Beam, thought he could maybe make something happen. But no, he didn't have the backup of his team, didn't have the buff, and he got, he fell for the trap. He posted a piece of content that was not neutral. He played right into the hands of EG.
Oh, EG! How long have you been waiting to use that one? Anyways, Decimate
16
and Sezco
years.
kind of getting baited by Chaz, maybe unluckily. I don't know if below average kind of plan, or excuse me, Lost in Translation planned that. No, below average, never mind, I'm dumb. But Chaz was just kind of muscling his way out there on Sniper, getting some shots. The scouts were able to trade in favor of below average and kind of stall the push from Lost in Translation. The Ubers, however, exchanged after the fact. We get some really good counter aggression here by the blue scouts. They actually, never mind. Sure Shot gets cleaned up in lobby. Patty takes down Sure Shot in a trade at least. Looks like Eldritch is going to get forced back to spawn if he can make it there. I don't see any other chasing happening. I think previously in the match, Mela might have jumped after him, but content to just let him walk back to spawn and retreat with his life.
Yeah, right now we have Lost in Translation getting fresh control of that point. They have 35 seconds left counting down compared to the 1 minute 13 of below average. Uber's dead even for both of these teams, right at about 80%. But below average, not waiting for that Uber. They don't want to let that invulnerability happen on this point. They need to start controlling it. They need to get that cap. They need to get that time cutting down. There's only 15 seconds remain on the clock for Lost in Translation. They haven't given it up yet. Alpha pops his Uber, stands on the point so the clock can keep counting down during this fight. Uber finally popped for Eldritch, but there's 3 players down for Lost in Translation. Only 1 down. That's Shootist from below average. And the point is going to go in favor of below average, but they have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Whereas it's overtime for Lost in Translation. If they cap it at all, they win the match.
Yeah, but Donsky was taken down very early on in that fight. Probably was able to win them. If they had stickies on the point, that is a very different fight. Instead, the Ubers are exchanged, and actually I think Sezco was taken down as well. So the 2-man advantage enough to win that fight, not needing Uber, or a good Uber to win that, was below average. And actually Muffin takes down Smacka very early. Sezco, however, gets a flank onto Eldritch. We're going to need to see some favorable trading by below average while they have their buffs. And actually, I don't see enough kills happening. Things aren't happening. 4 members, 5 members now below average are taken down. And Shootus is the only member, but actually defending the point valiantly takes down Mela at the end there. At the end there! I need more water.
Heck, is grown-ass man. Broke his teethus.
Broke his teethus. Is that going to be it? Is that how we're going to end this?
Looks like it.
Well, it was an anticlimactic ending to the game and to the cast, I guess. What are we going to say? Oh, there's 3 seconds left, there's 2 seconds left, there's 1 second. Mela just raging about the map, but he was all over the place making plays. His team won. I don't understand. I think it's a very good map, Mela.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
he
it!
played well.
Mela, interview, get in Mumble. Where is he?
Get the Mobla in. Mobla, why won't you get pizza with Kurt? What gives?
This is the first question. We're not going to ask any questions about the map. Let's ask him about pizza.
You know, when I fly out to Buffalo for Tip of the Hat to do production with Kurt and sleep with him, we are going. We are going to make Mobla. We're gonna have a donation goal. If we raise, like, I don't know, $30,000, we're gonna make Mobla come over and eat pizza with me and Kurt. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Yep.
If nothing else happens.
$30,000.
If we don't make any money, as long as Mela meets Kurt and they have pizza.
Yeah,
success.
Me, Kurt, and Mobla will just sit there on cam and just eat pizza. Just silent, just staring into the camera. for $30,000.
Seriously though, do we have
For
anyone to
kids.
interview?
I hope not, because I'm pretty drunk. I think we should close this out, Sean.
And you don't want to do an interview? People want the interview. Let's take a look at the stats. Let's talk about the statistics. That's what stats is short for, Lang.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, would you ask me to pick up the stats?
Sorry,
I'm
yeah,
lagging
let's
terribly.
talk about the stats. Anyways, first thing I see, Sezco, 51 frags, 21 deaths. Incredible KD from Sezco. That's kind of how Scout is supposed to be played on Koth maps. You play near the medic, you kill overextending people when they do suicides, and you stay alive. And he exceeded at that during the match, it looks like. Lowest death count, highest frag count by far. I think next closest is 39, his teammate Smacka. So really impressive performance by Sezco. Decimate his scout buddy. That's quite a formidable pair to face on Koth. Really impressive though. We do have Mela coming in.
Mela, why won't you get pizza with Kurt?
We just haven't yet.
Mela, if I come to Buffalo for Tip of the Hats, will you get pizza with me and Kurt for $30,000?
Maybe.
You won't be getting the $30,000. It'll be #40kids.
Maybe.
Do you even like pizza?
No, I really don't.
What? Alright, we have Smacka here. Mela, thanks for coming in for the interview. We're gonna drag you out of the channel now. Can I drag him? Like, can you drag? I can't drag this guy.
I'm gonna leave him, you know?
Do you guys
Think about
know
what he's done.
how many times I had to listen to Mela tell me that the map was awful?
Yeah, Mela, do you
40.
know how many times I had to read in chat while I was casting to listen to you tell me that
So
the map
many
is
times.
awful? I want to get your perspective. That was actually my serious question that I wanted answered. Why do you think it's so bad? I think I think especially for Roamer, it's like way better than Viaduct in my opinion. There's a lot of help kits for
I
you.
completely disagree, but I mean, out of all, I've played for like 4 or 5 seasons now, and every season when a map is added, I have never disliked it like as much as this. I even prefer CP Asheville. I'm not even kidding. At least just for me personally, like that map was so awful on Roamer just because I felt like no matter where I jumped at any time, anywhere, ever, like everyone on their team just sees me all the time. Like I just felt like I could never do anything. I mean, if I went on the right side, like on the right battlements, any scout standing on the right hut thing could just deny me easily. Soldiers can just spam me easily. And if I jumped them, I would just die. If I was on the left, then like I would really only be able to spam. And if like a demo ever pushed up on bats, I would just die instantly. And if I ever jump, I don't know. I just don't. I feel like everything sees me all the time. It kind of shits on my playstyle. So.
Okay, I can agree with that. It's a little easier to spot the flanks coming since the lobby area is a little different. It's a little reworked. There is no window underneath. I saw you utilize that a couple times pretty effectively. But is there? Do you think maybe you have or you dislike it a little more than other roamers because you don't off class as much? I know like some of the other classes are pretty viable. I saw you on heavy there once, I think. Right? Is that all you did?
Yeah, I played heavy once. Just because we had Uber at the time and they were just suiciding in over and over again, so I just figured I'd go heavy.
Yeah, I really like that play. If they're doing suicides, it's a good counter to it.
But yeah, I really don't like to off class on Roamer that often, and I don't know. A lot of my playstyle is just jumping around and like going for a flank and then jumping out. And I don't know. That map just does not cater to at least me personally. Like when I play Roamer, it does not cater to me at all. Like just no matter what I do, people are just always shooting at me.
Okay. It's just interesting to get your perspective. I was actually talking you up quite a bit. I feel like an idiot now because I feel like you made some pretty good plays, and Definitely well-timed flanks a couple times, just walking out of shutter, doing a million damage on the point. A lot of, anyways, I thought you did. I thought you played really well. So good job. Maybe your opinion about the map is just invalid because your opinion about pizza is equally dumb. So
Okay, hold on a second. I don't think pizza is awful. I like pizza. I just don't like to eat it that much. I guess.
What if we
I'll
go
rephrase
get a kebab?
fair
Okay.
enough. Kebab.
Why you kebab, Mela? Let's go get
Sure.
some kebab.
I'll get a kebab.
All right. We'll get some kebab.
All right, we're also joined by Alpha, the medic for Lost in Translation, and
Hey.
Smacka. Say hello, Smacka.
Hello, Smacker.
Hello, Smacka. So, Smacka, as the other soldier mans for Lost in Translation, how do you like the map?
I think I'm slightly more okay with it than Mela, but I think it's garbage.
Interesting.
It's just not fun. For me,
I
at
think
least.
I love the Koth format. There's so much back and forth action.
It just needs so much work done. Like, you can just wait for the other team to get on cap for 20 seconds, and then push them off.
Okay.
Like, it's like Viaduct before they fixed Viaduct. You know, you can just sit back relatively safe, let the entire team stack point, and then walk in and single-man Uber them off of it.
Okay. I
And-
think, yeah, he did shrink the middle a little bit, right? And I think maybe you're thinking the lobby area needs to be moved a little further away on either side of the cap, because it's like you can build comfortably and then instantly defend it. Whereas Viaduct, you have a little
Well-
bit of ground to cover, so Sniper's way more of a threat.
There's that. I also think the shacks are a little bit too tall. Because, like, the demo just gets free reign. And if you're a soldier on the shack, scouts are far enough away from you that, you know, they're relatively safe.
It's also hard to get on the shack if scouts are up there.
Yeah, I find the only way I can get on the left shack is if I spam 3 or 4 rockets there and do 60 or 70 damage to whoever's sitting there and force them off. Obviously, I mean,
Okay.
pretty clear, but I just don't care for it. The map cap time is way too long. It needs to cap in half the time at least. And then spawns are just so far away that even suiciding is ineffective.
It's also much harder to get to the medic if they play kind of where it seemed like you guys and the enemy team both elected to hold when you had the point, is just kind of hold just outside the left lobby, and if there's any sort of threat spotted, then you just kind of back into lobby, and it's very difficult to get to. Was it you guys or the other team that had that play where they jumped the demo and the soldier over the left and tried to flank through lobby? Must have been the other team.
I think that was them.
I thought that was pretty well coordinated. Kind of forced you into lobby, and then they both flanked through the left. So interesting to see that play. Alpha, as medic, I want to get your opinion on the map. What do you think?
I agree with Mela and Smika. The map is kind of bad. Like, I think it needs more work, because for medic right now, it's like when you Uber in, if you don't start getting out when you have less than like 40% Uber, 30-40%, you're gonna die for sure. And I think it's kind of dumb because you should be able to stay alive more.
Okay. You think it's just hard to escape from an Uber exchange near the point?
Yeah, like if you would go in and you would try to Uber on the point, there's gonna be stickies behind you like pretty much all the time. So you gotta start getting out pretty fast.
I agree. You have to use a lot more of your Uber on this map, maybe to plan the end of your retreat. I suppose. I kind of like it. I think it's pretty relaxing to push. Whereas Viaduct, it's like you're worried about a bomber and sniper on your way to the point until you get to But anyways, on this map, you have a lot of room in the lobby. As long as your team checks traps and checks hiding spots, it's fairly safe until you're ready to actually do your push.
Yeah, like we noticed that pushing right side on this map is like almost impossible. If you get spammed, like good spam from the other team, you're just gonna die before you push in. There's no way to get buffs in and push out unless you're on left or shower door.
Okay. That kind of surprises me. I like pushing on the right. Well, I guess my team runs a sniper. I guess I guess on the right, it just seems like there's more room to maneuver as well. I think the other team kind of started adapting to you guys going left almost every time. They started spamming you in a little harder on that side. I think they could have countered you a little harder by doing that. I think left you could get punished really, really hard because it's such a small entrance to get out into the point.
Yeah, left is small and it's also the longest route, it seems, so it kept working, so we kept doing it, but
Okay.
we kept, mentioning, hey, we probably shouldn't do this every round, but then it just kept working, so why not? I will say that Bizarre Bargain is heavily underrated. That thing's awesome.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions for our members of Lost in Translation? Lange?
Smacky, want to get a kebab?
Let's get some kebabs,
Let's get
cause
some.
we got to have all the kebabs at the Worlds and some pizza. We'll put it on Melee while he's asleep.
Teacher, it sounds just like me. I don't know how you do that. It's uncanny, Dusty.
Well,
But yeah,
I
I think it's gonna do it.
Okay. Congrats on the win, guys. I thought it was fun and exciting, and I like the map. Your opinion is invalid, Mela, but Alpha and Smacka tend to agree with you. I think they may have been influenced by your constant ranting and mumble, I can only imagine. Any shout-outs?
No, only in chat.
We'll start with you, Alpha. Alpha, any shout-outs?
Shoutouts. Shout out to my team. A shout out to Pascal. That's about it.
Alright, Mela.
Shout out to my team and BPM and Pascalpha.
This is not Alpha, this is a different guy.
it's his,
It's like Brangelina.
it's his
You know?
e-girl.
Okay. Cool. Smacka, any shout-outs?
Only to you guys. And Wreath.
Aww. Thanks, Smacka.
And Kai,
Aww.
who never talks anymore.
We need to envy him. We'll envy him soon. Alright, thanks for joining us for the interview. Again, congrats on the win. You guys are looking pretty well in the land race, as of right now, I think, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, I was looking at Steam and Cisco wanted me to do the Nason XB, but I'm not doing
Focus
it.
up! We're doing an interview. We're live to the world. Okay. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for joining us for the interview. Sorry we gave you such a hard time, Mela. Lang, thanks for casting. Kurt, thanks for camming. Chad, thanks for tuning in. And thanks for not being mad when I timed out a few people just as a joke. People seem to love it for some reason. So anyways, thanks again for joining us. There will be more casts later on in the week.